Welcome to Thriving Together, the ESOP Advantage. This podcast offers insights from BDO leaders and highlights the transformative power of employee stock ownership plans. Tune in to learn more about BDO's ESOP and how it is the embodiment of our people-first, purpose-driven culture.
Hello and welcome. I'm Kathy Moy, BDO's Chief People Officer, and in today's episode, I have the pleasure of speaking to my friend and colleague, Bernie Peters. Bernie is BDO's Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, as well as a People and Culture Principal who leads BDO's people and culture, including talent acquisition teams nationwide. We'll discuss her perspective on BDO's ESOP, inclusivity, and how this relates to current and future employees. Bernie, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I've known you and worked with you for quite a long time now, but I don't know all of your background, and I'm sure our listeners could benefit from hearing a little more. So help them understand a bit of your story.
Sure. Most of the times when I'm speaking to someone, one of the first things when they're responding to me, it is, I hear an accent. Where are you from? I was born in the only English-speaking country in South America. That is called Guyana. I have had the privilege of being at BDO for a few decades, but I've had such an amazing opportunity to work with leaders across business lines. It allows me to help to create a legacy of leaders at BDO. And it is something that you and I have done for many, many years. And it is something that I continue to look forward to as we continue to create, this legacy that we're talking about and create leaders for into the future.
That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm excited to have you here. As always, I'm excited about our conversations. And at this time, to get your perspective on what becoming an ESOP company means to our people. You ready to jump into some of that?
Sure. I'd love to.
I admit I often have adopted words you said to me very early on when we announced the creation of our ESOP, which were, BDO's ESOP is the most inclusive thing we've ever done. You said that right off the tip of your tongue without thinking. How did that come to you? Tell me about that.
I remember exactly where we were when I said that. You were on stage at the partner conference and talking to everyone about what this means for every person within the firm, not some individuals within the firm. And so I got into thinking, hold on, we are focused on diversity, equity, inclusivity. Isn't this what we're talking about? We just brought to the firm something that everyone will be participating. And so if that isn't inclusivity, I don't know what is. But I'll take it a step further. Our why, BDO's why, is helping people thrive. I decided to turn that on its head and take that up a notch by saying that, hold on, we are not only saying what we want to do for everyone, we are showing everyone how we are going to make you thrive. We are creating independent wealth for everyone across the firm, regardless of whether you are a staff member or you are a senior leader of this firm that you could possibly be. The only thing we ask is that you be a productive member of BDO. That's it.
When we work together, my observation is we need to feel and think. Head and heart need to work together. And I think the feelings come first before all the thinking. So tell me, when you first heard we were going to do this formation of an ESOP, what were the feelings on a personal note?
Yeah.
What did you feel?
What came to mind is something that when I was, just starting out my career decades and decades ago, I remember my dad saying to me, my papa, I remember him saying to me, sweetheart, these are your learning years. Your earning years will come eventually. Here's what came to my mind as we were talking about this personally. He can't hear me say this, but I'm thinking, Dad, I've evolved in that teaching of yours, because at BDO, here's what we are about to tell everyone. You can learn and earn all at the same time. It isn't you need to do this and then later on this is going to happen. But here's what we are going to do as a firm. And this is in addition to the salary that you will be earning for your work that you do at BDO. I don't see this as BDO being the first doing something. I see this as BDO understanding that the world is moving fast and wanting to make sure that we are helping our people not just to survive, but to thrive.
Makes so much sense. And you prompted a thought when you're talking about learners. One of my first reactions when our CEO called me and said, here's what we're thinking about, I said, I can't wait to get to campus. I can't wait to tell students about this possibility. You have the privilege and responsibility of overseeing all of our recruiting teams.
Yeah.
What are you hearing from them that they're hearing from students and candidates? What is the reaction?
Yeah. Here's how I respond to that about hearing what is said externally. I believe that our best testimonials about what the ESOP is, it is our internal colleagues speaking to our potential colleagues about what this means for them. And I'll give you a real life example. The firm just participated in a number of diversity conferences, right? NABA, Alpha, and Ascend. And so I witness at the conferences listening to our colleagues discussing what the ESOP means for them. And I can see on the faces of the students or professionals about, wow, that could be for me too. This is something that I can see myself being a part of because they are listening to individuals describing for them being able to participate in an ESOP plan, what it means for them and their families, your future families, whether current families or to-be families. I want to hear our internal, everyday colleague, whether it's a staff member, a senior, whether a staff going on campus and being that ambassador, if you will, so that they could speak about their personal experience about this. And then, of course, I think that it becomes even more real because we all just got our statements, right? And I think that is that tangible thing that someone could really now, okay, this is no longer a thing that was told to me. I am literally looking at the statement that describes for me money in an account that I did not have to contribute to, but the firm is doing that on my behalf. So I have to believe what people will start thinking about is that, you know what? I want a piece of that. So I want to learn more. And I believe that our, external colleagues who could see themselves being a BDO and wanting not only because of the ESOP, but wanting to be here for many reasons, their personal and professional development, having a career, not just a job, but with those things, it could bring these additional benefits and reward that could be beneficial to their longevity, their future with their families, etc.
I have a question. Do you think the hopes and dreams of newly minted graduates now are the same, different? Are those timeless?
I think young people today focus more on producing a good outcome of something that they take the time to be working on, whether it's a project, an assignment, whatever the case is. They put that time in, they do the research, and they want to understand why are they doing that? They're trying to understand the why. They're stopping to ask a lot of questions. They're not just, taking something, an assignment, and just say, sure, that's what you want me to do. They want to understand, tell me why. What is this about? Who is this going to help? Why do we need to do it? Why are we doing it this way? They want to understand more about it. I want to go back to something, though, Kathy, that we talked about a little while ago. You mentioned this is the most inclusive thing that we've done. And then you also asked me what I'm hearing from some of our recruiters. What might they be hearing from potential colleagues wanting to know more about the firm? I think that this journey that we've been on, we are being more aware, if you will. I can't help myself, but my new word, as you know, being much more mindful and demure about how we are with ourselves as a firm and what we want to show the world about who we are as a firm. You've also heard me describe how I see diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And you've also heard me talk about I see diversity as having a seat at the table. I see inclusion and belonging is having a voice at that table. I believe that what we are sensing from our internal folks, they are feeling a sense of belonging to something that is bigger than all of us, bigger than themselves and all of us. Everyone has an opportunity in participating in this, our ESOP. Everyone. So it's having a seat at the table, if you will, and then having a voice at the table by feeling that sense of inclusion and being belong.
Do you believe the ESOP has created a broader attractiveness? Are we attracting a broader range of candidates?
It has created another level of conversation to be had that differentiates us. Because that's another thing that we find that applicants, candidates want to speak about. What differentiates us from other potential employers? And so we now have a wide range of topics that can speak to someone about what BDO has to offer, not just the varying or the vast number of industry groups. We also have the opportunity to speak about how we train and develop our people. And then we can speak about, in addition to your compensation that you will have, here is this other thing that is being created for you, which I want to call independent wealth, because it is creating independent wealth.
You may have answered a bit of this, but I know personally what mentoring means to you. It's part of that creation of the legacy of leaders. That is your why. You invest a lot of your time willingly and joyfully in mentoring others. On the topic of the ESOP, what insights have emerged from that intersection of mentoring others and the ESOP specifically?
What I'm finding is that as I've been speaking to those individuals who have privileged me personally to entrust their thoughts and questions to me, if you will, so that I can participate in helping them along, right? I have found another level of them being encouraged and having a sense of hope, if you will, for their future, not just for their professional development, but I have now put the ESOP conversation in their personal development. To me, the ESOP, because it is about creating wealth, it is under the umbrella of accomplishing some of your personal goals. And to me, this is within that realm about creating a legacy of leaders, because this is another tool in our toolbox when it comes to retention.
I'm going to take a page from the book of Bernie and turn it on you, if I may.
Yeah, please.
I'll call it Going Broad. What are your hopes for the future of BDO?
You touched a little bit upon my why about I have this amazing opportunity where we together with others can create a legacy of leaders. I believe that the hopes for BDO is that we continue to strengthen the bench of talent that we have right here, right now, and keep growing that and enabling this bench so that we have a continuation of leaders to pass the baton to. We should be able to look across the firm and be able to see this. See it in not just in people's eyes, but in their actions, in the things that they do, and be able to watch others bring others along with them. My hope is that we keep at a pace, if not even more so, as fast as the world is moving, because I think that is what has kept us going for more than 100 years. And my hopes is that we will be even better than we were the last 100 years in the next 100 years. But I think it's being able to watch others and help them along in just achieving their personal and professional goals.
You painted a beautiful picture, BDO USA of the future. Can I add a little splash with my paintbrush on that picture?
Yes.
A little splash of my paintbrush is that as we're watching them from afar, they are taking such excellent care of each other.
Yes, absolutely.
That culture will take them through, especially, as you say, the pace of change is not likely to slow down and the challenges pop up every day. And if they can maintain the culture we're trying to contribute to during our time, I keep stealing from your book, but instead of thinking about what we're in charge of, thinking about those in our charge, and if they could take such excellent care of each other, I feel the rest of it will come into place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Taking care of themselves and each other, right? That is what is going to keep us going. Yeah.
Hold hands when crossing the street.
Hold hands when crossing the street. That is exactly right.
Bernie, thank you so much for sharing your time and perspective on BDO's ESOP and more with us today.
My pleasure. Happy to be here. We should do this again.
Absolutely. I've really enjoyed the conversation as always. I'm very happy to be with you.
Me too. Very happy to be with you.
Thank you for joining us on Thriving Together, the ESOP Advantage podcast. Episodes, resources, and contact information associated with this podcast are available at bdo.com/ESOP. Until next time, thank you for listening.